What is up, everybody? And welcome back to yet another installment of Ask PJ Braun here at the Blackstone Labs headquarters. Are we rolling? Okay, good. All right, we're good to go. So, as you can see, we have the lovely lmonies here with us today.
Woo!
We have previously tried to set up interviews with her on the
Don't talk
podcast
shit,
before,
Don't
but
talk some shit, Josh.
but it didn't happen that way. So she's here with us now because loyalty is everything, and she had to make sure that she came and said what's up.
Also, we got a new product out, Carnitrim, so
That too.
just want to swing by and pick that up on the way back to wherever the hell you are these days. Hi, Elmonies.
Hi.
We're not gonna mess around with you like that. We are just happy to have you here.
Yes.
I'm glad to be here.
We're happy that you brought your boobs with you today. Also,
Can't
God
really leave
forbid.
them at home, unfortunately.
God
she was like, "How should I dress for the show?" And I was like, "I mean, if it's my choice, you would be topless, but it's not that kind of show." I'm like, "So just dress however you feel like you want people to see you for an hour."
So, like, do you have any latex?
So for those of you who don't know lmonies, or perhaps assume that she's just going to be these like insta famous models, I thought that we would talk a little bit about we want to get the history of lmonies, but I wanted to talk about how we met, how you came to Blackstone, and get into the history of your fitness career, because you don't really post too much fitnessy stuff except for in your story. All of a sudden you're back on it. I've noticed that.
I am.
You're back into the swing of things in
I'm
the
trying
gym.
my best.
Now, this is a side story that I'm not saying to be like funny. Elmoni's history with Blackstone goes back pretty far, because she straight up used to tell me that she was taking Super DMZ. And I was like, I think that she's kidding. But now I actually know that she was actually telling the truth, that she actually did take Super DMZ, which is pretty mind-blowing, because that is a very, very, very fucking strong product.
When I competed, my coach had me buy it, and I had to buy it off of eBay because I believe it had already been taken or
Banned? What year was it?
I competed from 2012 to 2015 or 16.
Yeah, so if it was after 14, then these eBay bastards had stuff all over the place, though, for years. They might even still have stuff on eBay now, but they're probably fakes at this point. So when you took it, how long did you take it for, and how much did you take, and what happened?
I took it through my whole prep, and I believe I would take 2 in the morning before my fasted, and every day for probably the last 5 or 4 weeks of my competition, and then I would come off like a week before peak week and all that.
Do you feel like it helped you a lot?
I feel like, yeah. I mean, I did that and then some other supplements and stuff in my routine and diet and all that. But yeah, I felt like it helped a lot.
Did you have any downside? You can tell the truth if you did. We're not going to be like, mad at you.
When I first started taking it, I held a lot of water.
Yeah, that's
because
normal.
I don't think it's made for women.
No,
So
it's definitely not. That's why I was surprised.
so yeah.
So while we're on this topic, actually, I just wanted to use this as an opportunity to say that, like, if you're a woman just getting into fitness and you don't know what to take, make sure that whoever you're taking advice from knows what the fuck they're talking about. Because yesterday, actually, I had a conversation with a girl in the Legion who I met at the Arnold, I want to say, either the Arnold or the Olympia, and got her into the Legion. And I noticed that a couple months after we got her into the program, that she started making a lot of progress, losing weight. And so I reached out to her and I was like, are you just taking Blackstone Labs products? And she was like, yeah, no, it's been really helping a lot. And I was like, wow, I'm gonna, keep my eye on you and really see what you're doing, like, by the end of the year, because, like, this is a pretty huge transformation. So then come to find out that, some asshole in her gym is, like, realistically selling her other shit that is not for women at all, and it's not legal, and she doesn't know what she should or shouldn't take or how it's going to biologically affect her. And so now this 175-pound idiot at her gym is selling her gear and fucking her shit up just because he wants to make $50 or whatever the fuck it is.
Which is disgusting.
It's fucking like, what the fuck is wrong with people? So, like, obviously not the same situation as you, but, like, if you're just getting into this and you're a woman, you got to be careful about what somebody else tells you. Oh yeah, you can take this. Hey, you can buy it from me or there or this website or that website, or, you know, and not to say that you were given ill information. It just reminded me of this. It just happened yesterday.
No.
So if there are any other women in the Legion that don't know what they should or shouldn't be taking, by all means, call the call center and just ask them, because they will tell you straight up, this is not made for women. This is going to have this risk. This isn't.
Well, to be fair, I had won 3 shows under the same coach that advised me to take the Super DMZ. And in all fairness as well, all Blackstone products are pretty legit.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've told this to people before. I got girls that are like, oh, I'm taking Anavar and I'm breaking out real bad. Or, oh, I'm taking Anavar and my hair is falling out. My voice is cracking. My clit's growing. I'm like, you're not actually taking Anavar. God only knows what you're taking. You got it from some dude you know in the gym.
Some guy in the
gym.
So
in situations like that, when girls tell me like that they're going to use Anavar, you will 100% be better off taking any of our pro hormones than the random shit in the gym. Now, if you do get real Anavar, congratulations. Real Anavar is amazing. It really is. It's like the fucking Mercedes-Benz of steroids. Excuse my language. It's a nice smooth cruise. There's no downside.
S550.
Yeah, there's no downside to it. But girls all the time, they're like, oh, well, when I took Anavar, it made me get very, very like aggressive, and I'm like, no, that was D-ball.
Yeah,
or they're like, it made me break out. We had a girl. I'm not gonna say her name, who her boyfriend, this is what always happens, is a bodybuilder. So I got it from my boyfriend, gave her a low dose of Winstrol. And within 2 weeks, she had broken out with cystic acne all over her entire body.
Boom.
Yeah.
Like, she showed me pictures of it, and it was like horrible. And I was like, within 2 weeks, well, I'll tell you right now, there's no way that was actually really Winstrol. Now, Winstrol is a lot more aggressive than Anavar, but still, for her to have like a breakout that freaking bad. And so I actually took the girl to get blood work, because I was like, I don't know, might as well see what's going on inside your body. And there actually were a couple weird things on her blood work. And I was like, well, you know, I don't want to say that this is directly because of that, but, you know, these guys that think that they're like doing their girlfriends favors, you know, you really don't know. Look, if you're going to a doctor, then there's no more reputable source than a doctor. And a lot of people will be like, oh, well, you know, my friend, he's like a really good bodybuilder. But like a lot of the times these guys don't even know what they're taking. You know, just because they're a good bodybuilder, they could think that they're taking Anavar. And if they're on a great plan, they could be taking Anadrol and still be looking awesome because they're on a great plan. You know, that's the way that steroids work for guys. For women, when you start putting, you know, male hormones in their body, that's why some of our girls, I don't know if like you hear girls tell you this, but I've had some of like the figure girls and physique girls straight up tell me that they take Chosen One and they love it.
Yeah.
Like they were like, Abnormal wasn't strong enough, but I heard Chosen One was really good, so I took it and I love it, and nothing has happened. The reason that we say it the way we do is because things can happen.
I actually, like when I was in the call center, I had, from what I can remember, like 3 or 4 women that were really persistent, that had bought a lot of supplements with me, and they were really persistent about going into using either Abnormal or Chosen One or something like that. And I was like, no, I won't sell it to you.
Yep.
I'm not going to sell it to you. If you're telling me that you're going to take it, I don't want to be responsible for you being mad at me when what I'm telling you is going to happens when you take this. And honestly, now, like, so many of the women are taking it that I'm like, damn, I just fucked myself out of money because like they were just gonna buy it anyways. Like, fuck.
All right, well, you took Super DMZ. I like to start out the show with a little plug for us. That's kind of funny. So, all right, so what made you get into competing? How'd that all start?
I was always crazy, like, into the gym. I probably from around 20 until 25. And then I met a competitor in the gym, and she's like, you're here every day. I see you. You do your cardio, you do your workout, like, because I already knew kind of what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, why don't you, do a show? And she had Tim Gardner as a coach and was like, let me plug you into Tim Gardner and you can start competing, and you can get into it. So I was like, all right. So I went to a team meeting when he had a body tech, and I became a body techer.
Cool.
And my first show was the Tampa Pro, and I placed top 5.
Which is next weekend, by the way, and we are sponsoring it. Shout out to Tim Gardner. Are you close to Tampa still or no? You're farther away now.
I'm still decent.
You should come hang out.
Halfway. Yeah. but he's cool. Like,
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah, he's good. So I had him for my first year of competing, and then I switched coaches, and then went with a different one, and then went back to Tim for my last year of competing.
So you said you started when you were 20. Did you play sports or anything in high school?
I was a cheerleader.
Of course, she was a cheerleader.
Yeah, I was a cheerleader.
But your boobs weren't as big then.
No, they weren't that big. They were kind of small.
Natural. What were your natural boob size?
They were like a decent, maybe small C.
All right, now we're on track. Let's just keep going in this direction. All right.
They were a small C.
Okay.
But in high school, it was very quiet, very low key. Not crazy popular or anything like that. Like,
Did you party a lot?
No.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Did
In
you
high school,
sneak out to meet boys?
No, I didn't date my first guy until I was 19. I dated people in high school, but for very short periods of time.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I never partied. I snuck out of my friend's house once, and I think I was 17 or 16, and we went and they were doing like drugs. And I'm like, yo, I can't be here. Like, it made me feel bad. So I go in the bathroom and I call up my mom. I'm like, Mom, come get me. Meanwhile, she doesn't know I snuck out or anything. She's like, what the fuck? Like, she's getting all mad.
So you blew up your own spot already.
Yeah,
Yep.
well,
Boom.
she actually was cool with me calling her to come get me because she appreciated the fact that I was a good kid.
Yeah, and you wanted to get away from drugs.
Yeah.
You're like the kid that actually paid attention in dare class.
Right.
I was like, when I was in dare class.
I was kind of lame back then, though. Like,
No, that's good.
I was a good kid, but my parents, I'm an only child, so I was always close to them, and my mom was very strict. She was like one of those moms where she's like, you don't wear tampons until you're older. Those are for loose girls. You know what I mean?
Oh my
So
God.
she's one of those.
So what did you use, pads?
When I was young, yeah.
Messy.
So you were the girl that showed up to the party. You showed up to this party and they were doing drugs and they were like, you don't want no part of this. And you were like, I'm going to the bathroom, call my mom, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was
That's
me.
a good kid.
That was
Were they
me.
just like smoking weed?
No, they were doing coke.
Oh,
Yeah. Well, then you got out of there.
Yeah.
You're a little young
Mom
for
will
that.
definitely come pick you up for that
Yeah.
one.
I was ready.
Mom,
to
I
go.
don't know why, but these guys, their eyes look crazy.
I don't know what's gonna go on. But yeah.
So you were a cheerleader, so you weren't in the gym, and then at 20 you started working out. But what made you work out?
I've always had like I don't know, a way that I wanted to look or wanted to be, and I started following people like Amanda Latona and all these people with like these ridiculous bodies, and I'm like, yo, I want to look like this. I remember showing people these pictures and I'm like, I'm gonna look like this, and I just started working out, and I wasn't able to still attain that look because I didn't realize that in order to look that good on stage, you had to pretty much fucking kill yourself. So that's why too I wanted to start competing to see the very best version of myself, and it became an addiction.
Well, at least she's honest about it, you know. I think a lot of people go into the gym with serious delusions. Also, I think that a lot of beginners don't realize that, especially now. You've got what people look like on stage, and then you've got what they look like all the rest of the time. And people, maybe not you, but people in the fitness industry, they shoot themselves a certain way when they look a certain way.
Yeah.
So a lot of people pick well, I want to look like this person. And they'll show me like certain pictures of like something very unattainable. And I'm like, well, maybe you should set a little bit more realistic goal, because that person only looks like that one day of the year and then doesn't look anything like
And
that.
maybe not even every
Now, there
year.
are some people that actually stay in really good shape year round, which I think is the best way to be, whether you're a competitor or not a competitor. Now there's all these like people that are like, oh, I'm bulking now and this and that. Like, especially for a woman, if your goal is to look like, let's say some sort of bikini model or bikini competitor, realistically, like, your goal should be striving to be that, but the best version of yourself, and just to keep on that plan. There should be no like, well, now I'm taking a break to like bulk or eat or do this. Like, I don't understand that. Like,
Yeah.
I understand when guys want to like push really hard and put size on, and because of that, they're not going to be as lean. But I also don't understand guys that are like, well, I'm bulking, and then they're just eating disgusting amounts of food. It's like women, like, your metabolisms are so much different. Like, there's truly no point to do that. So like,
Yeah.
if you're looking at Amanda Latana and your goal is to be like that, day one you start, When you're 40 years old, you should still have the same, for the most part, like goal in the gym, but it really becomes more of like sustaining it at that point. Because you really, I'm like rambling on, but you really like, once you're really hooked on like being the best version of yourself, your goals change because you realize like, I'm definitely not going to look like that person, but I'm okay with that. I like how I'm looking now if I just fix this, this, and this.
Well, it comes with the ignorance of not knowing that that's not possible. You see a picture from somebody like that for the first time, or you go to a competition for the first time and you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You just have to work really hard and you can look like that.
Yeah.
And you just think like they just look like that.
No, and I've like had people too, like I've had girls be like, I really want to look like this girl. And they'll show me the picture and they'll be like, all right, well, you're 5'11" and that girl is 5'3". So your structures are completely different. How about we pick some taller girls that we can.
And she's on test.
Yeah, you know, so you looked at Amanda Latana, you liked that look, you went to the gym. What gym was the first gym you went to?
The first gym I started working out, it was To Your Health Spa, and that was where I used to live in Citrus County.
Where's Citrus County?
It's by Ocala.
Oh, okay.
It's like this little small town that I grew up in.
That's where
A lot of orange trees.
yeah, Marissa's family is over in that area. They're in Inverness.
Okay, yeah, that's right
Yeah.
by Inverness.
Yeah, I drove there. It was like in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
A lot of pickup trucks.
indeed.
Yeah.
Lots of rednecks.
A lot of rednecks.
Yeah.
That's like once you start going up in Florida, I think we've talked about this on here before. It's a lot different than down here.
Well, there's like anybody that knows, like if you live in Georgia,
Yeah.
you know that like you live in the dirty South. And then once you go south to Georgia and you just cross that line into Florida, like that's the next level of South. That's like dirtier than the
Yeah.
dirty South. And then you hit those first batch of crazy hicks up there, those
Mm-hmm.
pickup trucks, and until you get past that big old Lake Okeechobee, it's some crazy shit.
Yeah, it's a lot different.
It's crazy.
You weren't by that though, right?
No.
That's like Texas Chainsaw Massacre shit.
Yeah,
That you had to
for
drive
sure.
to,
I've
yeah.
driven through the part of Texas where that happened, and it's not as sketchy as part of Florida.
No, there's some sketchy ass parts. I drove somewhere in Florida where we were driving up north, and I stopped. We were once we got to the point where like the exits are real far apart. They're like 30 miles apart. We stopped at this gas station that had a single lane bowling alley in the gas station. And I was like, holy shit, there's like a little bowling thing in here. And I was like, that's pretty funny. I wonder who like actually bowls at this thing. And there was a dude chilling there with overalls, no shirt on underneath, really, really just fat and hairy and gross, just sitting on the edge of the bowling thing. And I was like, man, I couldn't imagine a more fitting guy to be in this part of Florida at this weird bowling alley. Let's get the hell out of here before we get murdered.
It's just she's just missing a sawed-off shotgun.
Yeah, like I feel like that area of Florida, like there's murders that go down all the time that nobody even knows about.
Well, when there's so many alligators to feed the bodies to.
True.
All right, so you're not in that part of Florida. So you joined the gym. You're 20 years old. How old were you when you did your first competition?
25.
Oh, so you trained for 5 years first.
Yeah.
When you were 25, how did you feel about your physique?
I could always be better. Obviously, when I started getting into prep is when I was like, whoa, but my body responds fairly quickly when I do shit right. So when I got on my meal plan and I started doing my cardio, it just all came into place. I was probably ready 8 weeks out, and I just kept prepping and kept prepping.
And the show you did the first show was what?
The Tampa Pro.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how'd you do there?
I got top 5.
And you're in the tallest class, obviously,
Yep.
of bikini or figure.
I did bikini.
So then from there, what'd you do?
From there, I switched coaches. In my second year, I went on to do the Miami Beach. I forget what it's called. Giovanni Paolo puts it on.
Oh yeah, their show, the Miami. Yeah,
Yeah.
we sponsored that show.
Yeah.
Good show.
I won it.
Mhm.
From there, I went to Pittsburgh. I won it.
Oh, it's a good show to do. Oh, you won Pittsburgh?
I won Pittsburgh.
Oh, good.
And then what did I do? I went to nationals, got top 5. Then the next year, I started over, and I did the same shows again.
The year that you got top 5 in the nationals, what year was that?
I got it for 3 years.
Oh, you did it every year?
Yeah.
Wow.
I made nationals every year.
See, for all these people that
gonna say, I didn't
don't
know
know, a lot of people, see, I was like, people are going to find out some things they don't know, that just think, because every now and then, like, people complain to me about the hot girls, right? And I don't post the hot girls on the Blackstone Labs page that often. I post them on my page, and I post them, of course, on the Braun's Beauties page. And there's always, like, dicks that are like, what is this, a porn page? And I'm like, but why though? Because the girl is really hot or the girl has really big boobs. Like,
who doesn't like porn?
I love porn anyway, but why do the hot girls get those? Because let's say the girl was a porn star and then she went, did nationals, won, and got a pro card. She's still a pro competitor, but she's also a porn star. So then if I'm posting her, then I guess it is a porn page, right? But she's also a competitor. So what does it fucking matter? But what I always say the same thing every time. I'm like, I like hot girls. If you don't like hot girls, then you came to the wrong place. I post the shit that I like, period. But a lot of people who probably think that you're just a hot Instagram model probably had no idea that you were a top 5 competitor 3 times in a row.
They probably also don't know she can bench 405.
Fuck you.
So the last year you competed was what year?
2015 or 16? 2016.
When you were competing, you had implants already, right?
Yes.
How many cc's were they back then?
My second set, I've had them done 3 times. The second set was 900.
So you were competing with 900.
Yeah.
But you're tall and I think when you're taller and you have more broad shoulders, like people get like thrown off by sizes. They're like, oh my God, I could never have that much. I'm like, well, you're 5'3" and 115 pounds. Going to look a lot different.
Yeah.
Because I've seen your competition pictures and actually I wouldn't have guessed that they were that size unless I knew how tall you were.
It's because when I got super lean, I mean, you're all implant.
Yep.
So if you're gonna compete and you're a woman, I suggest you go bigger because you're gonna be all implant.
I tell the girls that all the time. I can't tell you how many times that.
Now I haven't competed with these though.
Yeah, well, that'd be completely different.
Right.
So when's that gonna?
I haven't tried it.
You'll certainly be all implant if you compete now. That's
so when's that coming in? We can mark our calendars.
I mean, I don't know. I have thought about getting back on stage, but I don't know. It would be more for a personal thing to see what I can achieve. Before I did it, and it was a personal thing as well. I wanted to look good, obviously, but I really wanted a pro card, and it always seemed to slip away from me.
I mean, anyone that's doing it that hard, that consistently, it's like pro card or nothing.
Yeah.
And anyone who says that that's not the case, they're like.
And I wasn't a mediocre competitor.
No, you're a top 5 national competitor. To be a top 5 national competitor in bikini is so fucking hard. And I keep talking about this, and like the bodybuilder people get mad. But as years go by, less people bodybuild. That's just the way it is. Now you have physique got huge, and now classic bodybuilding is getting enormous. So let's say you've got 100 guys that were all bodybuilding before. Now out of that 100 guys, if it were completely even, it'd be 33, 33, 33, but it's not. It's maybe like, okay, there's 70 that are doing men's physique. There's 25 that are doing classic bodybuilding, and then there's 5 that are doing bodybuilding, right? And of those 5, hopefully there'll be some good ones, right? So in bikini, almost every girl that goes into the gym that eventually wants to compete wants to do bikini. That's like the way it goes. In fact, I've met girls that started their first gym membership because they want to be bikini, right? You very rarely meet a girl who's like 19 that's like, I want to join the gym and I want to fucking crush physique, eat some Winstrals, and just start busting out quad shots. Like, I mean, I would love to like meet that girl, but
squat my boyfriend.
It never happens. It never happens. What usually happens, not all the time, but what usually happens is you'll get a girl that's just too muscular, and then they're like, you should try figure.
Well, that's what a lot of people tell me. They're like, wow, I'd really love to be in the shape that you are, but you're just too much. I don't want to get that big. I'm like, all right, well, this is just how I'm made.
Yeah, you're like, don't worry, it's not gonna happen anyway.
Don't worry, I promise. I've been doing this for a really long time.
I love when when I was big and people used to say that to me. I used to say the same thing every time. When people would be like, well, I don't want to be like you, and I used to every time say, don't worry, you're not gonna be. And they wouldn't realize that I was like dissing them when I was saying that. They thought I was just reassuring them. They're like, oh, thank God.
They're like, sweet, baby Jesus. I thought maybe I could be bigger than this guy.
I don't have to worry.
Now that he's telling me that I won't be as big as him, I feel okay about going and doing 2 more curls.
Yeah, there's the I don't want to look like you people, which I always thought was funny when girls would say that. I'm like, well, I'm a man and I'm on a lot of steroids. No, you're not going to look like me.
If you looked veiny like this,
or there's always the older guy. I'm older now, so I would say back then it was probably like the guy that was like, we'll call him like 45 to 55, right? There's the guy in that age group, a little chubby, bit big still. That's the guy that hits you with, I used to be just like you. Then I got married and got kids, and that's what happens. Or hurt myself.
I actually had something funny happen to me the other day at the gym that's never happened to me before. Since I've been going back, I've been having some pretty insane workouts, and I was like supersetting a couple different machines, but I was done with the one, and this really young, like maybe like 17, 16-year-old, super skinny, like 120-pound kid comes up to me, and he's like, "Are you done with that?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's all yours." And he goes, "Hey, how can I put on some size?" And I was like, "Just eat everything you can."
That's what I always say.
Just keep eating and eating and eating. I was like, "Don't listen to anything else anybody's going to tell you. Just keep eating way 4 times what you're eating now and do it every day. You can't do it for like 2 days." So I'm talking to the kid like heart to heart, telling him, because like I've been there. And his dad comes up after a minute, and this dude is like 5'5", belly rounder than I don't even like, bro. So just all belly, like his everything from above his stomach up was like skinny guy, and everything below his stomach was like skinny guy, but his stomach was just huge, and he's short, and like I was like, dude. And so he comes up and he's like, at first I think he's like appreciating that like I'm talking to his son about this, and then he's like correcting the things that I'm saying, and I was like, all right, well I guess just like listen to him. Like I don't know, like how why would you do this?
Sorry, your dad sucks, bro.
Yeah, why would you do this to your kid?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand.
How old was the kid?
Like 16, 17 maybe. Like very young, like super skinny, and I was just like, well, no fucking wonder that you don't know what to do because your dad is telling you to do all the wrong shit. Like,
yeah, I mean, well, the gym is filled with people that are telling you to do the wrong shit. Back to my bikini thing. I don't want to get off this point because I've been wanting to say this on the radio, so the same people who listen every week can hear it, because I've been wanting to say this somewhere where outside of the Q&A when I'm like ranting in the morning. Bikini is by far the biggest division, by far. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
it's
full of chicken heads.
Kind of annoying, but from a business standpoint, it's great. And I think it's great, you know, for women that want to get into competing and compete, you got a spot to do it, right? So let's just stay with that 100 number, right? So you got 100 girls that are going to get into something. Like 95 of them are going into bikini. Some of the girls that were like, I played soccer or I swam in college, they're going to go do figure. But you got all these girls going into bikini, right? Now, they're giving out more pro cards for bikini too. So you got even more girls that want to get that pro card, right? They make it extremely unattainable for the men. So that sways more people away from it. And for the women, they're like, look, we're going to give 2 to each height class. There's friggin' 7 or 8 height classes now. So these girls, they want that pro card bad. They're going for it. And there's a shitload of them. Now, the problem with that is there's so many good girls now that how do you really pick out the 5 best ones at that point? Because at any national show these days, I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, and it used to be where I'd be like, this girl, this girl, this girl, and this girl. Now I'm like,
it's also close.
Now, once they give me the top 5, I can usually be pretty close. But to actually get the top 5 out of the lineup is so hard. It's so freaking hard. And so if you're somebody that's making it into the top 5, you're fucking good. If you're in the top 5 in bikini. Like we have a girl that's competing right now, JLK Fit, right? And so
very good condition.
The condition is amazing. They actually told her after the first show, they were like, tone it down a little bit. So Junior USA's 5th place. I was like, you're right there. Just keep going. And so she goes to Junior Nationals and gets 3rd place. Almost got it. I'm like, you're going to get it at the next one. I'm like, tell you what, do Team Universe. I'll pay for it. She was like, really? I'm like, yeah. She's like, I can't get out of work. I'm like, oh, that sucks. You're definitely going to get it. And Team Universe is 1st and 2nd. And you're 3rd. It's like a crime to not go and do it right now. And she's like, I can't get out of work. So she's doing USA's, which is this weekend. And I believe USA's is also 1st and 2nd. So you have all these shows where they're cranking out all these other girls too. So then those girls all go to the pros, all of the 1st and 2nd place girls. And then in pro, it's freaking insane too, because now you know everyone's really, really good no matter what, and you still got to try to find the top 5 out of that. So to be top 5 in bikini is like a major win, whether it's NPC Nationals, which is the hardest one, or if it's in the pros. Like that's a win there. So if you were really wanting to get the pro card, you were already in the winner's circle 3 times.
If I competed again, though, I'd probably do figure.
You would do figure?
I probably would, yeah.
Now, I'll tell you this. Figure girls are getting jacked now.
See, that's where I don't know.
They're getting jacked
I'm
now.
like in the middle.
You are a little bit in the middle, but wellness.
Yeah.
Wellness 2020. I'm the most excited about wellness.
How could you not be?
I love wellness because all of the bikini girls that I liked a couple of years ago have gotten very, 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 very tiny and lean now, and I preferred their older looks. I'll always be a Ashley Kaltwasser fan because she worked for my old company for a while, and she was just very professional and just on time for everything, like you were today. Always did exactly what we wanted and more, which is weird. Most people don't do that. Would submit videos that we didn't even ask for. I was like, this girl's amazing. And she was Miss Olympia at the time, so I expected her to be really cocky. So I was like, this is like, I even told her one day, I was like, you're way different than everybody else that like we work with. Like the whole video thing, like she did a video where she brought in that girl Tamra Day that's got a pretty big following and a couple other girls, and they put on all the clothes and they did like a workout video together, edited it and sent it in as like one of her submitted things. And I was like, are all these other girls okay to be in the video? And she's like, yeah, they're my friends. I was like, damn, that's nuts. Like, it'd be like, Cody Montgomery being like, hey, let me get a bunch of other big time bodybuilders and do a Blackstone video. Like, not saying that Cody wouldn't try to do that, but the other people definitely wouldn't do it.
Yeah, even if they wanted to, they wouldn't, just out of contractual obligation.
So because of that, I also was a fan of her physique. She'll always be my favorite, but I preferred how she looked a couple years ago because the girls are so small now in bikinis. So wellness, for those of you that don't know what wellness is, wellness girls have a little bit more muscle, but their legs in particular are a lot thicker. And it favors like Brazilian girls. But I'll tell you right now, most Italian girls
can compete just fine.
You're going to have a much easier time doing wellness than you are getting this as small as they want for bikini. Latinas, Italian girls, like the wellness. All my Irish girls, I'm just kidding. I was going to make it.
Wellness is still going to be pretty subjective, though.
For the first couple of years, it's going to be very subjective.
Yeah.
But what they're saying is, I spoke to Jam about it, and Jam Mannion is, you have Jim Mannion Sr., who's the president, and then you have Tyler, who's the vice president now, and then Jam is Tyler's dad. So Jam said, for anyone who asks, just tell them, look at what's good in wellness now, and that's what they're going to do here. So if you look at what's good in wellness now, there's that Brazilian girl that's just ridiculous. She's won like many times, and there's another Brazilian girl, Vivian Winkler, who I follow, that's also very good. And it favors these Brazilian girls for sure because they're able to have normal upper bodies and just completely abnormal legs. It's crazy. But I also think that I've spoken to a lot of Brazilian people, and they say that girls in Brazil start working out when they're like 10 years old. And it's all about legs and butt and quads. And they literally like 3 times a week when they're like, 10, 11 years old, they already start working out. So by the time that they're adults, they've got serious leg development, and the upper bodies aren't as important to them in Brazil. And that's why they're able to have like somewhat normal upper bodies with these crazy legs. Anybody who's listening to this who's never looked at Vivian Winkler before, please go look at her right now. You're gonna be like, what in the hell is going on?
I think another reason why it's so much more dramatic for them is not just that they have normal upper bodies, but they have usually very small waists.
Yes.
And then normal upper bodies from there, and then huge legs and butts. And that's why it's even more of an illusion.
It's a very, very, I think, appealing look for men and women. Like most girls these days, right? Like I don't meet girls that are like, oh, I want to go to the gym so I can make my legs and butt as skinny as possible. Most girls want bigger legs and butts, and that's what wellness is going to be, which is a lot different, than bikini. Like when I started coaching the ab chick, the first time we ever had her here, she was full off season, right? And she came out, and everybody was like not wanting to say anything about her butt. And then when she left, everybody was like, yo, that's like the biggest butt we've ever seen. And then I was like, it's really sad. I have to make it really small now.
Funny story. I used to compete with her. She was in my height class.
Oh, really?
Yep.
You seem so much taller than her.
And she went pro. Huh? No.
It must be the boobs.
It's 5'7" to 5 to up.
Well, now they've broken it all down into extra classes now. So I'm pretty sure this was the first year there's a 5'8".
Oh, nice.
Yeah, there is. There's a 5'8" now. There's A, B, C, D, E, F,
That's
G.
kind of fucked up. I'm like a giant up
H.
there comparing to 5'7" chicks.
In the old days, I should have actually brought that up. So in the old days, it was 5'7" and up. Now they added on another class because what happens is what was happening all the time was the girl that was 5'7" was going against 5'9", 6 feet, whatever, and she was kind of looking like the petite, cute, more proportioned girl, and winning all the time because of that. Because the taller you get, the bigger you're going to look also, and bikini is still favoring that smaller look. So now you have an extra.
It's hard as a tall person to get everything that you need to get.
Well, the tallest class, you see a lot of like, I always use the term like volleyball player-ish looking girls, because you don't, as you especially for women, as you get taller, you just don't see the same proportions. And so, let's say the 5'3", 5'4" classes, those classes are going to have like 40 girls, and a lot of them are going to be very good and very similar. The tall class girl, if you're a good tall class competitor, you'll really stand out. That was like Anna Maria, the girl that I brought in, first ever national show, Team Universe gets 4th place, or NPC Universe it's called now. And that was one of the things about her. I was like, you know what? For a tall class girl, you're not like built like them. You're built like more like petite. And that's favorable for her. She just needs to put a little bit more muscle. For you back then, how much muscle did you have? Like, how much were you weighing when you were competing?
When I competed, I weighed around 127, 130.
Damn, that's so light for how tall you are.
Yeah.
And when you were competing, you were 127 pounds. You had 700 cc boobs. 900. Your first boob job was what?
When I was 21.
All right, so you went 21. How many cc's?
650.
And then you went 900. Competed for a few years.
Mm-hmm.
What made you retire from competing?
My mom got breast cancer, and
we go into a sad story now.
It's not. I mean, she's good now. Everything's great. It's not really sad. Thank God. But
thank God.
Yeah, but it was just when I competed, I was very dedicated. I was very into it. So I kind of blocked everything else out in my life. And my mom got diagnosed with that, and it just really like hit me. And I'm like, you know what? I need to step back a little bit and stop being so selfish. So I kind of just stopped then, and I got out of it. But I was always like addicted to it. I kept doing my cardio. I kept my diet, And then I ended up moving, and when I moved, I kind of like, got back into just living a regular life again. I still did my cardio. I still went to the gym. I never give up the gym. I never stopped going. But it just became something that I wasn't really that, I wasn't interested in competing again for a while after that. But then I wanted my boobs done again, and then I got them done. And after that, people are like, oh, well, if you want to compete now, it's going to be a little different.
Yeah, I was going to say, so when you were competing, you had 900, but they looked actually fine and proportionate on you.
Yeah, I mean, I won my shows.
Yeah,
they didn't ever critique me wrong.
No, I've seen all the pictures, and they don't look like they don't really look that big, to be honest with you.
I feel like now if I got really lean, I don't think they would look crazy.
That was my next question. You don't think that?
I don't.
I don't know. I mean, we'd have to see. I'd have to see you in a suit. I'm curious of whether or not.
Maybe.
I mean, the good suit makers can hide a very big boob the right way, because there's been some girls over the years, usually the girls that I'm big fans of actually, that have very, very large implants. And I've noticed like somebody like CJ, for instance, will cover them a lot more with the suit. So it's not all this like boob like out in your face. And actually I've seen there's this little Asian girl, I'm trying to think of her name, that has huge implants, and she's tiny. She's like this tiny, tiny little Asian girl. And you can't miss hers on stage, and she's turned pro and done okay. So
that's good.
I guess it didn't hurt her. I guess the only way that you would truly know is if you did it down for a show again.
Yeah.
And then they just told you straight up, hey, your boobs are too big.
Yeah.
So again, tell us that date so we can mark our calendars.
What do you think of this? People have been asking me this lately, because I have not seen this on the national level yet. What do you think about girls that go really, really big with the butt implants? Because I don't think that's going to be rewarded at all. I think that's going to be hurt.
Yeah. When I competed, you had to have the tie-ins. And in order to get those, I don't think you could have anything surgically enhanced from behind.
No, it would be impossible.
I mean, I think people with ass implants now look crazy. I don't think they look good. I don't think I would ever get them.
Yeah, I don't think that anybody I think the wellness division, they'd probably think that they could get away with it. But I think that I think the judges are going to have a hard time rewarding something like boobs is completely different. But
you can't work out your boobs.
Yeah, exactly. I think they're going to have a hard time being okay with rewarding somebody that has done something there. I think that no matter how good the rest of them is, Because I thought about this. Somebody was asking me the other day. They were like talking about this girl that had a sick physique, sick quads, good abs, but she definitely did something back there. And they were like, will she be able to compete with this? And I was like, I don't know.
Should probably win a local show.
Yeah, I think so.
I wouldn't go nationals.
And but I will tell you, the girl would, like, had she had not done that, very, very good.
So, but like now that we're moving into, new forms of surgery, like you were just talking about, like with the boob implants, new way that lifts it and you can't see it. Who's to say that in 2 years, 5 years, 20 years, something like that there's not a way for them to enhance it like dramatically without you really being able to like tell that something's been altered within the tie-in.
Well, they're doing so much new cool stuff now.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
I feel like it kind of sucks too, because regardless if you're getting on stage, regardless if you got ass implants or boob implants or whatever you've had done, in order to get ready for a show or in order to look lean, you have to do a shit ton of work.
Yeah.
So to take away from somebody because they decided to have something done as a personal decision, I think is fucked up, because they put in the work anyways.
Yeah.
So
I just think for that one body part, I think that it's such a crucial body part.
Yeah.
That they're gonna punish you for that. But we'll see.
if
we'll
they
see.
can tell.
Yeah, we'll see if they could tell.
I don't know.
Because if they can't tell and it's just like some crazy looking ass and it looks like striated and the tie-ins look good and all this and that, and then like let's say that person wins for like 5 years in a row and then all of a sudden they find out like, oh no, they actually were using this new technology or this new technique that actually hasn't surfaced until about 5 years later. Never know.
I mean, when Savannah Rem was competing in WBFF, her butt looked really good, and it did. I don't think that they were punishing. I don't know how well she did over there.
And
But
like we were saying though, the wellness division is going to be like good for Brazilian girls, and like we all know that Brazil is the place you go for plastic surgery.
yeah,
So
they have this shit now that
we're gonna see.
that I'm interested in. My mom got this shot of the shit like under her chin
Yeah, it gets rid of the fat.
that melts the fat, and her doctor is like, now she's like super tight in here if the camera can see what I'm doing.
Really?
2 of my friends have gotten that done. They look like a frog when they first get it.
Yeah, I guess at first it's kind of weird, but then everything gets like super tight. So this doctor that did it for her is like, I guess one of the best in Florida. And she was like, I guess she talked to the doctor about me because I always complain about like, they're not even really love handles. My just lower back is just like way looser than I want it to be compared to how tight the rest of my body is. And it drives me fucking crazy, excuse my language. And I guess she was talking to the doctor and she said she can definitely put it in there and that it'll melt that away and it'll never come back.
What the fuck is
So I want to go have a consult and just
find out what chemical it is that you're putting inside of here.
because if it will go away and also never come back, sign me up.
How much liquid nitrogen are you pumping into my cells?
I'm just curious of how much it will cost because like think about like what they do into your neck versus what they're gonna have to do to my entire lower back.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want them sticking anything in my neck.
I will.
That's weird.
It drives me crazy, that part of my body. It drives me nuts.
I feel you.
It's the only
I
part
would
of my body that like I hold weird fat on. And
I would be
I
really
don't recall
wishing
having
there.
this when I was young though. So it's like an age thing, I think. And it's not like a traditional love handle like meat on the side because I'm actually pretty tight. It's just my lower back for some reason stores like this like soft weird fat that I don't have anywhere else. And it just doesn't make sense with how low my body fat is. It drives me insane. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go like ultra strict for like 4 or 5 weeks. And if it doesn't improve at all, I'm going to talk to this doctor and be like, all right, how much to melt this shit away forever?
Sounds so
Seems like a
fucking weird.
no-brainer to me.
And no, I mean, it definitely, if it was that cut and dry and simple, it definitely seems like a no-brainer. But like, I just don't understand like what the fuck you could possibly be putting in somebody that it's like, all right, I'm going to put it here and it's only going to do something bad to this
Nuts,
spot.
right?
And it's not going to go anywhere else. It's not going to do anything bad. It's not going to turn hard and scaly like a lizard.
Yeah, it liquefies the fat cells and then your system just like eliminates it and that's it. It's crazy. And it didn't, for the neck, it's not that expensive. So I'm just like, in my head, I'm like, well, that's this much. So let's multiply that by 10. It could get kind of pricey. It may be cheaper just to do freaking lipo at that point. But I like the fact that it says that in that area, the fat will never come back.
Because, well, then couldn't like somebody that's competing just like use this for certain areas that they have trouble with and like never have to worry about that area for their next show?
I don't know, but this is a funny segue, and then we'll get back to the lmonies stuff. So Miss Holly, who runs Golden Girls of Miami, Very cool girl, super hot. I think you've met her before.
Oh yeah.
So she doesn't really work out anymore. Still very hot though. And so she goes to cryotherapy and gets cryo T-shock.
Was she working out when I met her?
I don't know.
Had to have been.
Dude, she swears, and I don't think she's bullshitting, that she hasn't worked out in forever. And I'm like, that's how your body looks all the time. You're just fucking lucky.
I met her at the shoot you had at your house, right?
Yes.
Yes. If she doesn't work
Sick
out,
body.
she is in great shape.
So she goes to get cryo T-shock, right? And she does weird spots. So cryo T-shock, layman's sense, it's kind of like cold sculpting, but it's less dangerous. You're basically like deep freezing the fat cells, and then your body removes them naturally, right? And so people do it to tighten certain areas, to burn body fat in trouble spots. And so I've been in there a couple of times where she's been doing it, and like, so she was doing it on her arms last time. And I was like, trying to have those slim arms, huh? And she was like, honestly, I'm not changing my diet at all. She was like, but I just feel like all the study on this stuff says the fat can't come back to that area. But if you're not changing your life, that fat's got to go somewhere. And I'm just doing all these areas, so it has to keep going to my ass. And I was like, that's hilarious if you really believe that's happening. And then she stood up and she was like, look at my ass. My ass was not this big a couple months ago. And I was like, actually, it does look bigger. It does look considerably bigger. So in her mind, this is her plan, is she's going to keep attacking the fat cells with this cryo T-shock, but not change anything and want the fat to come, but she's just trying to force it all into her ass. That's her philosophy on the plan.
But if it freezes them and then you eliminate them naturally, how could it be going to another area?
Because apparently they say that if
it has to come back as well. Okay.
Fat will come back,
Got
just
you.
not to that area.
To that area. Okay. That makes sense, I guess.
Hilarious.
That makes sense, I guess.
Yes. And her I'll tell you what, her ass did look bigger.
Hey, if the booty be looking right, that's all that matters, though.
Crazy. So retired from competing. Thank God your mom is okay. And at this point, where were you at in the world of Instagram at this point?
I wasn't competing, and then I got my boobs done, and I was at probably, I think it was 18,000 followers. I just started posting like pictures in like sexy dresses and stuff. And then Blackstone found me, you found me, and you're like,
always on the look.
You're like, you're in good shape, and you have the look that we like for Blackstone, would you be interested? And I was like, this is crazy, because I messaged you when I was killing myself and I was competing, and you didn't even answer my message.
I hate when people tell me that. Keon told me that
That
too.
was back in the day, though, when I had like 5,000 followers that I messaged you.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with the follower thing.
No, I know.
Don't feel bad.
No.
So then I got sponsored by Blackstone, and my Instagram just continued to grow like crazy.
We used to do the Instagram a lot different though back then. Back then I was like jamming hot girls down people's throats. I'd be like, I want the hottest girls on Blackstone Labs. That was like my plan. I was like, I want every hot girl in the fitness world to be a part of Blackstone Labs.
So I don't want to segue too far away from this, but I think it's pretty related. What do you think about / have you seen any real changes in interaction on your page since Instagram has been making these behind the scene changes the last couple of weeks?
We've all been in uproar over this new one.
A lot
of it.
I was going to work our way up to that, but we can talk about that right now.
It's a lot.
I didn't know if we were going to end up
Well, I wanted to do a whole thing on her Instagram, because her Instagram,
we can save it then.
Her Instagram went nuts. I mean, to go from 18,000 to 1 million relatively fast is, at one point, obviously the algorithm favored you a lot.
Yeah.
And there's certain people that I've seen, some people that the algorithm really worked against now.
Oh, dude, like
really worked against.
I have no followers. Like I'm not anywhere near like anything like that. But I used to post like a workout video, and it would get 1,000, 2,000 views. Last couple of weeks, like post a workout video, gets like 400 views.
So here's a weird one. I don't post any hot girls for a while, right? And then I post that picture of Sinful Stephanie. And she's showing her ass, and
yeah, I like that picture.
And she's got the apparel on.
I love her.
She's awesome. She's got the apparel on, and it gets like 1,200 likes, which is like for the Blackstone page, unheard of. Unless it's like Shelby, that's like unheard of. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, did I like trick the freaking algorithm or something? Because usually those, I'm not even kidding. Usually a hot girl like that showing too much on the Blackstone page will get like 100.
I feel like it's just weird because pictures that you think won't do that good go crazy, and then pictures that you're like, yo, I look so good, I'm gonna post this and everybody's gonna go crazy, and then they're like, meh.
For me, anything with me and Marissa does amazing.
Well,
The people like to see the fucking happy couple.
so have you noticed do you use any hashtags regularly?
I use hashtags regularly, and then I saw that if you use the same hashtags,
Yep.
they actually punish you. So I feel like I've been punished for it as well.
Well, it's not just punishment, but like I definitely for sure, you definitely for sure are shadow banned right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Isn't that
So-
I
crazy?
feel like everyone.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I think over time, eventually everybody will be shadow banned. But so I actually, not that long ago, got invited into this, like, it's called the Fancy Car Club. It's a group chat on Instagram with a couple of different like BMW accounts that have really high followings. So they, for whatever reason, obviously know how this algorithm shit kind of works, or have people that tell them. And they gave me some tips and tricks on how to unshadow ban yourself. So I'll let you guys know what those are, but not you guys.
Yeah, no, off the air. It's very frustrating because I own Blackstone Labs. And if I use the hashtag Blackstone Labs, my posts don't even make it into the hashtag.
Well, so,
search.
but
Yeah.
it's your account. It's not your
It
hashtags.
makes you undiscoverable.
yeah.
Because if I post a BMW picture and hashtag BMW, my picture doesn't get put up.
So you know who else is shadow banned right now? At least he was orangutan. Because I was sending them both a message. I typed in Christina, his wife, came right up.
Photo's too sexy.
Started typing in his name. I'm like, where is he? I'm like, where did Mr. Orangutan go? This has never happened before. Then I had to go to one of my pictures where I had tagged him, clicked on the tag, and it brought me to his page. And I was like, damn, he's fucking shadow banned right now. I didn't even think about being shadow banned until Dragon Azumi reached out to me. And he was like, just so you know, like, nobody's seeing any of your stuff. You're not coming up in any of the
we
hashtags.
potentially can fix it. But if we fix it, I don't know how to make it not happen again.
I'd be curious to know what got me shadow banned. The crazy thing is this. So in the old days, if you got a blue check, that was supposed to be like your protection, right? So I've had this blue check for fucking years.
Well, it's your protection from somebody
Impersonating you, yes.
That's it.
So at least nobody can impersonate me, but it's like, what am I doing?
Well, it's not a personal thing. What it is they're setting some filter parameter that probably when you do something, you gain a point on your account. So it's similar to like a credit score. Your Instagram account probably has a score within their system. So you do a certain number of things and you're going to add points to it. Probably. This is all theory. But you're probably adding points to a score. You have too many people report your account for nudity or violence or whatever it is. You're probably adding points. Once you get to a certain point, you're probably shadow banned. And then beyond that is probably when they look into your account on a more personal, individual level versus just using whatever filter parameters that they have set for these point systems.
So crazy, especially considering, I guess the reason that I get the most frustrated is, first of all, I feel bad for this to happen to anybody because they just don't get it. But the reason that I get particularly angry is because we spend a lot of money with him.
Yeah, that was my point that I was.
So it's like, we're spending this much money with you, thousands and thousands of dollars every month. How about you just say, hey, don't do this anymore, and we won't do it. Easy as
or
that.
Tell us what it is we can and can't do.
Yeah, that's it. That's where I think there's a major flaw, and because of that, I think that there are probably people out there that are getting very fed up, like we are, that are probably like, let's see if we can fucking get something else going somewhere else, and somebody will start something new. I mean, it'll happen. To think that it won't happen is foolish.
Yes.
Because nobody thought that there would ever be anything after MySpace. You know,
Nobody thought there would be a MySpace.
MySpace was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I missed my top
And then
5.
Facebook came out, and everybody in the world is still on Facebook.
And Facebook was just for college students. I
Yeah.
remember starting my Facebook when I was in school.
Yeah.
And no one else but people in school had it, and then it branched off.
I just wanna
Now
go
all of our
back-
parents have it.
I just want to go back to having a top 5 and a song.
I loved MySpace.
And a song play on my profile when you come to it, so you
Yes.
can know how I'm feeling that week.
Yep.
And like,
Yeah.
it's just I want to go back to simpler times.
Something new is going to come. I don't know what it's going to be, but something new will come.
My face.
My
Probably.
all right, so you started with 18,000 and then you went up to 1 million, and now we're talking about the different stuff with the algorithms. Where do you think that like it started going the fastest?
I stopped paying attention to it, honestly, and just kept posting, religiously every day.
Titty pics.
Rude. But yeah.
A lot of boob pics.
A lot of boobs.
There's two chances to really shine in the world of hot girls. You can shine with awesome ass pics, and you can shine with awesome boob pics. I think that the ass demographic, I don't get it because I'm a boob guy.
I feel like it's smaller than the boob demographic.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like asses are like the thing these days. Like the past few years, I feel like it's all ass. We did a poll in the office one day.
Yeah.
It was a couple of years ago, but it was boobs or butts, and I was the only boob person in the entire office.
I think it's maybe an older generation type thing. Like
how you
an
know you're getting
older
old.
generation type guy digs boobs.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
all about boobs.
Absolutely.
Yes.
The younger generation, they're like, all right, I need some ass in my
Well,
life.
because back then, big butts weren't a thing.
No chicks
Yeah.
had
That
butts.
wasn't. It was kind of viewed as like you being
the
overweight.
80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so now you say there's only 2 times to shine. So like I've actually had this conversation with Tara multiple times, and I think it's fucking hilarious. If you follow enough Instagram models and you're on Instagram enough, you can pick up on these trends that like girls go through. That first, it's kind of similar to how like one of them will see a meme with like a funny text. So like one of them posts it as their caption, and then the 10,000 girls post the same
Yes.
caption on the
Oh,
same
of
picture
course.
in the same day.
She thought she would, so she did, or
Oh,
whatever.
God.
Living my best life.
How many times? Living my best life.
So like.
Bro.
Like I noticed that I want to say it was last year 2018 was like the real start of the trend of the see-through shirt for the nipples. Everybody
yeah.
has to post.
See, I haven't gotten that brave yet on Instagram.
So but you know what I'm talking
I
about.
don't. Yeah.
It's like a wave that hit.
Yeah, I feel like
Like, nobody was doing
I
it.
feel like I'd get fucking reported, and
Probably.
everybody'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Probably.
It was like nobody was doing it, and then like one person was like, "Yo, I found out that they can't delete your photo if you just have a see-through shirt and
I
you don't
feel
just
like
post
they
your nipple."
still would though.
There's a lot of it now. I
It-
can't believe how much of it
I think
there
that
is.
Really?
Yes.
I think that it's somewhere like somebody read like their policy, and somewhere in their policy it says like as long as it's not exposed. So like as long as there's something in front of it, it's cool. Like that's the loophole. Is why I think
now
there's so much-
also you see they're actually showing a little bit of the areola now. That's the new thing.
you
that's the
show
new
the
thing.
whole
Yeah.
areola.
So
Like the new thing now
Oh.
is to have like
just the nipple meat covered.
yep, and your areola out of your bra, your shirt,
no, I
and you
haven't-
know it's out.
I
Just
haven't
the
tried that
tangible
either.
portion is covered. So that was last year. 2018 was like the year of the see-through shirt with the
Yep.
nipple, right?
Hmm.
This year, hands down, 100% without a doubt, the number one thought pose on Instagram is to somehow have your legs open but covered by a one piece.
Yes, and you
It's
can
like the
see
thing.
the whole meat of the vagina.
You can see the whole pussy,
yeah,
but it's covered
Some
by a
of
one
these
piece.
girls I've noticed have massively meaty vaginas too, but
And I'm not against it. I
they
love
cover it in a way that it's like formed around it.
it. Yes, it looks like a delicious little cheeseburger.
Yeah, like a
Oh
little
my
like
God.
slingshotty type
Yeah,
thing.
boom.
Yes, that is
gonna
very
slap that
very
shit right in
popular
your face.
now. Extremely
And
popular.
but it's
now.
like I saw one girl do it like beginning of this year, and I
She
showed
does
Tara.
it all the time. I think I follow her. She's actually like my friend. I talk to her all the time, and literally all of her pictures are like, "Hello."
Well, I'm
like,
not even talking. I truly am not talking about one girl in particular.
Really?
To be honest, I am truly
know.
not talking about one
I
girl in
think I have
particular.
Now I need to
I
know
have
who this girl is.
I have 2 spread leg pictures on my Instagram, and I don't feel like you can see my pussy. At
Were
all.
they from 2019?
Yeah.
Boom. So I knew it. So I'm
you
just
can't
saying,
see
it's like a
anything.
wave that
Wow.
hits, and it's just like a wave that hits that like girls see that like one girl got like 10,000 likes in 2 minutes on this one post. Bitch, I got a pool. I'm gonna go out there and spread
Yep.
my legs by the pool. Watch this shit. Oh, look at that. And now her friend she's like, girl, I'm gonna go do the spread leg thing. So it got me real curious to see what 2020 is gonna bring for the next pose, because I told Tara, I was like, the only thing that's really left is for you to like bend over and like spread your butthole.
Yeah.
Like what else is there for you to
That's
give
next,
to
the
us?
brown star pick.
It's got to be the starfish. So like there's just nothing
The
else.
guys now, the new guys thing that a lot of guys are doing now that I think is hilarious. It makes me laugh every time is, so first of all, I wear mesh shorts with no underwear. I've been doing that since the 90s. However, I don't have boners in my mesh shorts in photos on Instagram. Well, there's a lot of bodybuilders now who are doing like, videos or shots of themselves like posing in the mirror and stuff with clear boners.
They're like
Clear fucking boners. Like, give me a break. You can see the whole head of their penis. There's one person that I send you guys sometimes that does it all the time, which I think that he knows that he's
You know what
doing
the
it.
sad part about that is? They're getting more likes from dudes than they are women.
Of course, yeah. But I think that those guys are doing that on purpose because they're making money on the side on the gay dudes anyway.
Yeah.
So like, I got to put this out there. I got to put this fucking helmet shot out for my friends.
I'm just gonna say, man, like I don't see any difference in pumping up your biceps before you do a front double bi and then pumping up your
Josh
dick
is okay
before
with
you
it.
do.
No.
That's, you know,
He
dude,
says,
it's-
What I want to know
I
is,
get
do
it.
the girls that do those crotch shots, are they doing any sort of like pussy pump preparation? Because the
the meat
meat
is so intense.
is like engorged with blood
I love it.
I feel like maybe they edit it or something.
to
hope
make
they
their
Or maybe
vaginas
they
look
just
meatier.
have a
I
fat
hope-
pussy.
Yes, I hope it's just a fat.
There's
ass.
a lot of fat pussies.
That's what I
on-
want.
on-
You gotta love a fat pussy.
there's a lot of fat pussies in both genders. Actually,
I don't feel like they're attractive, but I'm not a guy, so looking at me. I don't
I
know.
just took serious offense to that.
Like fat, you don't know.
Like thick. Like you gotta have nice lips.
I think that there's a lot of different types of attractive vaginas, but I'll
Yes.
tell you the ones that are the least attractive, in my opinion. And this might surprise some people. So it's not like when a girl has giant, like exposed lips. That doesn't even freak me out. It's the girls that are completely strangely in.
Yeah.
Not
no,
just
I don't like that.
not just an innie. I'm talking you got to move around shit to actually see the vagina inside.
Yeah, I don't like it when the hip bone is like protruding past where the vagina
Yeah.
entrance is. I don't like that.
I've seen a couple of like usually amateurish porns because I feel like these girls never make it into the. If you got a really really inner vagina like that, you're not going to make it in the
can't have
world of
any.
porn. Where you see like the slit there, and then like there's like a lot of meat and hip bone, and then the vagina is like inside. It's like the vagina was like pushed up inside of the body too far. It's super strange. And whenever I see that, I'm like, oh, that's so weird. It's just a very very strange.
It's
Actually, you know what it looks like? It looks like a post-op tranny's vagina. That's what it looks like. Like
I don't
there's
know what
no
that looks
clit
like. Why do you
anywhere
know
in
what that
sight.
looks
I don't know what that looks like.
Why
I
do
know
you
what
know
everything
that
looks like, ladies and gentlemen. I know what it all looks like.
Oh boy.
I'm not even gonna lie. The laptop that you guys got me to do the Legion when I first started, however long, like it's been getting slower and slower, and like it just like died at my house a while ago. And I've been telling Chris Aaron like I got to bring it into you so you can bring it back to life. I was like, but it's gonna be a very similar situation to what you had with PJ. Like, just don't fucking judge me, bro. Like I know you're gonna see whatever you're gonna see, and it's not as bad as what you were watching, thankfully.
Yeah.
But like, I
you know the
definitely
story?
watched my fair share of porn on that
Do you
computer.
know my crashing the computer with porno story?
No.
So
But it's you, so
Yeah.
it doesn't surprise me.
I thought that Macs can't get viruses. That's like one of the things that Mac people like say, like, oh, you can't get a virus on this computer. So one day, I'm on my computer jerking off and
Deep into the dark web.
deep in there, and my computer starts doing crazy shit. It starts like saying warning this, that.
Fucking missiles are being launched.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck's going on? And
It
it
ruined your time.
yes, it did. It completely like froze, right? So I did the old unplug it, wait for a few minutes, plug it back in. It was still like frozen, nothing, like the mouse wouldn't even move. So I was like, I reached out to Chris Aaron, who is like a tech wizard. And I was like, hey, I thought Macs can't get viruses. And he's like, technically they can't. He was like, unless, and he like wrote some very, very like computer technical term that I still don't know what is. And then he wrote, or a shitload of porn. And I was like, I think I kind
Definitely
of.
in that category.
Yeah, I was like, I think I am in that category. And he was like, just bring it in. I'll fix it. So I'm like, oh, here's a major problem because this is what happened. I was on like a Latina section, right? And now I know her name because she's come across my travels more times since then. We had a conversation about her in here. There's a porn star by the name of Chanel Santini. Have you heard of this porn star?
No.
So Chanel Santini is a tranny,
Okay.
but her face is absolutely beautiful. Or like it's her face, right? Or is it his face? Whatever. It's absolutely beautiful, right?
It's
so
face.
I'm watching. I'm in a like Latina mood that day, and I'm just like searching around Pornhub, and I see this face. I'm like, wow, this girl's fucking beautiful. So the scene starts, and it's her and the guy. They're like making out. She's in a pretty dress. Takes her boobs out, nice boobs. They're going at it. Then the dress goes down, and there's a fucking penis. And I'm like, no way.
Damn.
I was like, no fucking way. And I was like, because this is definitely, and people are going to know because she's been in like all sorts of magazines and shit. They're going to be like, yeah, Chanel Santini got me too. So at that point, I was like, searched every single Chanel Santini thing that I could. And then I started searching,
Trying to find a pussy?
I wanted to see more of her. I was
Oh.
like fascinated. I wanted to see if there was stuff before the implants, whatever it is. She always looked like this. It's kind of like,
Oh.
I was like, am I wrong for like thinking this chick was hot?
You're like, I need some history now.
So I'm in there, right? And I'm like, I'm going to like tranny this, she-mail that. And I'm like looking at the scenes that she's in and like going to their websites, trying to find more. I was just fascinated. Wasn't even jerking off anymore. And so
Completely soft. I actually ain't got coffee.
once you start getting into some of those weird,
Just scientific.
once you start getting into some of those weird, like, you know, tranny, like she-mail type sites, there's some weird stuff that can go down. And that's what started the huge virus on my thing. So I'm like this. I'm like, okay, either I can bring this, because I have the best Mac monitor they make. That shit's expensive as hell. So I'm like, either I can bring this to the Apple store and the people there are going to be like, this is that fucking juice head guy that comes in here all the time looking at sick shit on his computer. Or I can bring it to Chris Herron and he's going to think I'm a weirdo. So I'm like, fuck. I'm
He
not
already
bringing
knows I'm a weirdo.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm going to bring it to Chris Herron, you know, one guy versus the whole Apple store. Because you know, even though they're not supposed to, you know they're going to be like, yo, we want to know what that big dude was looking at.
Not just that, but they're gonna like fucking screenshot that shit and post it on Reddit. And
Yes, for sure. This is the president of Blackstone Labs history on his thing.
I
So
just feel like the public needs to know.
I gave him the computer and I was like, fuck, this is so embarrassing. I was like, you know what? I'm just not even going to say anything. So I gave him the computer and then he fixed it like pretty fast. Like an hour later, he was like, your computer's fixed. And so I didn't really like tell anybody. And I was like, you know what? He's probably going to say something to David or somebody, you know? And so I walked over to him and I was like, so let me just explain to you what happened when my computer crashed. And as I was saying that, he just went, don't worry, I've seen it all at this point in life. And I was just like, okay. And I just took my computer and I walked out.
Thanks, man. I'll see you later.
Yeah. I was like, but you understand, it looks like a girl. And he was like,
Yeah. I saw it.
You're good, fam.
For sure. She's hot.
so anybody who's never heard that story before, you can actually crash your computer looking at porn. So anyway, I wanted to talk about Instagram a little bit more because do you think now that they're going to stay with this because it's fucking over everybody? Or do you think that they're going to be worried that because people all at this point nowadays try to figure out ways to generate money off of Instagram. And obviously they want us to spend more money. So that's where I think all these algorithms come from, right? But what happens if everybody just starts like being like, fuck this shit, there's other ways to do this now? I mean, I don't think that it's going to happen soon. But I mean,
I don't really know that much about Instagram, honestly. I've flown by the seat of my pants this entire time.
have you had like a lot of, I don't want to use the word propositions because it sounds sexual, but like, have you had a lot of offers though because of Instagram?
I mean, yeah, in ways. I've had a lot of opportunities, like good opportunities, you know, like Blackstone and other things that I've gotten from Instagram. So I'm thankful. But I mean, inappropriate things, yeah, all the time.
Yeah, but
I've
I mean,
had
I think that
Brazzers contact me.
really,
Yeah.
shout out to Brazzers. They got good taste.
But no, I'm not.
So how'd that convo go?
What?
How did the convo with browsers go?
I turned it down.
True.
Yeah.
Did you think about it at all?
No, I mean, it
Did
no.
they just hit you with like a weak number?
What?
Did they just like tell you like a weak number for like
No,
pay or
they-
something?
they-
I will certainly sign back up for Brazzers if you're going to go that route.
just saying.
You got to let us know in
No,
advance.
no.
Let us know.
No. But yeah, I honestly don't know.
Shout out to Zoe, by the way.
Yeah, I love Zoe. I don't know what's gonna happen, so we'll see. I'm just, still doing what I always did.
Now you're back in the gym serious, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to be.
Like more serious than a while. It seems like it at least.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing my cardio again. My diet's pretty on point, and I've been working out a lot. I have people write me all the time. They're like, "You got abs." And everybody's like, "How do you have abs all the time?" I'm like, "Well, it's just a good day because
It's
I eat
just a good
something
day.
and I don't have abs, and then I'll have abs, and then I won't have it. It just depends."
That's part of being
Because I'm a
girl, though.
chick.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I got my shit on point for now.
How much cardio do you do?
I do 2 sets of cardio usually a day. Today I only did 1. I did fasted this morning. But I
Damn,
usually
2 every day.
Usually do
Serious.
45 minutes.
You are a former competitor. What about your boyfriend situation?
What about it?
Well, I think that everybody that's listening to this or watching this is waiting for me to get to this part.
I mean, I date, but I'm single as of right now. So
How long have you been single for?
I've been single. Well, I've dated.
Yeah.
I've
But
went
you're-
on dates. But I've been single for a year and a half, 2 years.
Well,
Year
that's a
and
good little stretch.
Are you on Tinder?
a half. I am not on Tinder.
Are you on any of those little
Bumble?
No.
I'm not on any dating.
Honestly, I feel like when you're a really hot girl, the amount of stuff that presents itself to you, that you don't really need to be on those things, right?
I mean, I don't need to look for somebody to fuck.
No, I mean,
You know
it's
what I
like
mean?
it's like take your pick. Type of
Hey,
thing.
Tinder's not just for looking to fuck.
Isn't one of them just for looking to fuck?
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
feel like
Tinder.
I don't
Tinder?
feel like I'm gonna meet. I don't feel like I'm gonna meet my future baby daddy on Tinder.
I met Tara on Tinder.
Oh, there you
Well,
go.
you
I was
guys-
about to say somebody else, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, they're actually.
You guys are one of like a million probably.
No, I think Brett and Cindy met on Tinder too.
Really?
Really?
Yep, for sure.
I don't know. Maybe Tinder's the answer.
Tinder is
I've never been on any of those things. I feel like I missed the boat. On
I
those
just
things.
feel like once you're single for long enough, you become accustomed to doing shit how you want it done.
Yes.
And then when somebody comes into your life, if they don't add enough to it, you're like, I'm okay just being by myself. Like people that I've dated for long periods of time have been very smart, very successful, and they've taught me something. They've added to my life. So until I feel like somebody's going to do that, I would rather just be alone.
She's got a designer habit, so if you ain't bringing that bread to the
Yeah,
table,
seriously.
I
Have you
am
seen
not
this
a
girl's
gold digger.
wardrobe?
I am
Have you seen
not
her
a
wardrobe?
gold digger.
Bro,
Please, you better
I thought I
freaking
had
take a
shoes.
third job.
No, I mean, I don't. Well, no, I'm not gonna say that because I do. I mean, I feel like you should be with somebody who has similar characteristics to who you are. I feel like you should look for someone who likes the same things that you do. Because if you get with somebody who's completely opposite, it'll keep it interesting, but I feel like it'll get old.
I strongly agree with that.
I mean, yeah.
Tried it before it gets
so
old.
yes, I would like to have someone who has the same, the same things that I like, that takes care of themselves, that like shoes and nice shit. I mean, yeah.
So
That's
if
the kind of
they're
guy I
gonna
want.
like that stuff, they better be financially stable. Otherwise, they're gonna
Well,
be.
yeah, I don't
They're gonna have
wanna-
nice clothes, but nothing else.
I don't want to date a poor guy. Like they can't be. I don't want a poor man. He could work his ass off for what he has and appreciate it. Like I like normal dudes. I've dated normal guys. I've dated cops before. Like
but minimum 50 shoes in the collection, or you're not stepping in the house.
I like shoes.
No, I think.
I mean, if he's got on a pair of New Balances, I probably have to think about things. You know what I mean?
I think that women need to be more.
I have standards.
I think
have
they need
things
to
that I
be a little bit
want.
more aggressive with their standards, because like sometimes, like, listen, I've been coaching women for years. I decided that I was going to work with all women, right? So I've seen it all. And the amount of girls that date fucking losers blows my mind. And then afterwards, they'll start talking about how much of a loser the guy was. I'm like, well, you dated him for all that time. That's your fault, So there's a small percentage of girls, and I hate to say this, but it seems like it's a small percentage of girls that are like, sorry, but I'm not going to date a guy that doesn't have a really, really good job, that isn't doing this, that isn't doing that. And they have like a set criteria, and people will be like, you're a gold digger, you're this, you're that. And possibly some of them are gold diggers, but some of them just have like higher standards. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all.
I feel
I
like
really don't.
if you've attained something, like if you've attained your best physique, if you've attained, someone with a certain social status, so that's what you are capable of. If you know you're capable of that and you know that you can attain it, then with someone who's less than, you're gonna be less optional to get with them.
Yeah, no, and I don't think that people should be embarrassed to go that route. Like I when I moved down here, I did a bunch of like different dates for a little while, and I met a girl, and she was finishing up medical school to be a doctor, and she straight up said, she was like, I'm impressed with what you're doing with Blackstone Labs. That's important to me because financial stability is very important to me. I'm going to be a doctor, and I don't want to be making the most money in the house. That's just something that's important to me. And honestly, it didn't bother me at all. I actually thought that was pretty hot. I was like, I am going to make more than you, bitch. No, I didn't swear at her. But I actually thought that it was good that she was like, this is what I want, and I won't settle for anything less. I think that if more people did that, there'd probably be a lot less drama all over the place.
But I respect dudes that make an honest living, just as long as you're into the same shit I am and you got your head on straight and you're funny and you don't have little titties.
I was fucking waiting for it. If you ain't got the money, you better be packing, boy.
Yeah.
What? You can find both. Why can you not find both?
You can, but no,
You can.
it shouldn't be bad to expect a certain standard for yourself. Like you don't see Halle Berry dating a homeless dude.
Nobody's
No.
perfect though. Any time you date someone or you're with somebody, there's going to be things that you don't like about them.
Of course.
But
Yeah,
that's,
but when you meet them, like I don't want. If I was single, I wouldn't want to be dating. If I met Tara and she didn't have a job when I met her on Tinder, I'd have been like, oh,
you kind of know
no.
what to expect.
Well,
then,
shit.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah.
So
It's actually, I feel like it's harder to date when you have a huge social following, because the people that come at you are more about clout or
Yep.
social status
Totally.
than they are actually knowing who you are. So if a guy slides in my DMs and he's attractive and he's what I want him to be, I have to wonder if he's coming at me because he wants to get to know me or because he sees lmonies on the internet. And what comes with the person that they think I am is not necessarily what they want. It's more of like they think they want it, but it's really, I mean, I'm a person, you know, I have feelings. I sit at home with my dog a lot, you know, I'm not crazy or the life of the party 24/7. Well, okay, I am crazy.
You're all crazy. All women are crazy.
All women are fucked.
And especially the ones that
up.
say I'm not crazy, you got to be like,
Yep. Those are the ones you got to run from.
No, I'm a psychopath, and I'm completely okay with that. But no, you know, it's just it's one of those things where you kind of have to like weed it out, or you feel like you need to meet someone who doesn't really know about anything that's going on with social media in order to appreciate you for you.
Damn good. It's a damn good statement.
Yo, if you find a dude that doesn't have Instagram,
yeah,
keep
I think
or
that
doesn't really care.
now, our world has
Instagram.
gotten so crazy with Instagram.
Well, I need someone who's definitely very comfortable with who they are as well.
Absolutely.
Because once they see my Instagram, it makes people feel some type of way, because I get a lot of attention from males, and to a male, you can either appreciate and be like, yo, everybody wants what's mine, or you can be like, yo, all these guys are coming at my girl and I'm not okay with it.
No,
I'm
I love
insecure,
that shit. I love that shit.
So
I live
it just
for that.
depends on who you are.
I think that Instagram is responsible. You know, everybody hates on Snapchat, right? But I think Instagram is responsible for so many breakups and cheating and everything else, just because we've talked about this before. It's just so easy to just boom, get right in the DM real quick.
Yeah, there is no song about Snapchat, but it does go down in the DM.
It does. It really does. Oh, I had a fight. You had a fight with your husband? Oh, it's okay. I'm going to DM 7 other guys now because I'm in a bad mood, and then that's how shit starts.
Yeah. Not even I'm going to DM 7 other guys. More like I'm going to put up a thirsty ass picture,
and
then see these 17 other dudes message me, and then pick the 7 I like.
Yep, it makes it too easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel, you know. So now I feel like we didn't give them enough for them to figure out how to like work their way in. I feel like we could give them a little bit more.
Oh, don't.
I'm just kidding.
So.
Go to my fans. Is that what it is?
No.
Fans only.
OnlyFans.
It's
OnlyFans. I don't have one, so I don't know what it is.
You can
start one.
That's the only way.
You'll start blowing through money real fast. I have one.
Put your shoes on there.
Yeah, no, she's talking about me being a performer.
Oh, being a performer?
Yeah.
Different strokes for different folks, but you never know what might happen on there.
Wouldn't be the first time.
You never know.
Are there guys on OnlyFans?
Yeah.
I think so, but
Yeah,
I feel like they have more of a male following.
Yeah, I've
of
definitely
course.
seen it on dudes' profiles on Instagram.
Huh.
Dudes are very visual, so
Yeah.
they're all about OnlyFans. I feel like chicks are more emotional, mental.
Yep, totally.
So I don't feel like I would sign up for somebody's OnlyFans.
Probably not. I'm into
Maybe
it though.
yours.
I'm like, just be quiet and let me look.
Yeah.
Just be quiet and let me look. You can speak, but it has to be moans. Outside of that, I just want you to be quiet and let me look.
Oh my god.
So now, what's in store for you? What do you got going on?
Right now I am supposed to leave next month for Japan. I have like a job opportunity thing that I'm doing out there, and then
Japan.
Yeah.
Are you gonna have to learn to speak Japanese?
No. I hope
That's
not.
good.
I don't even like Japan, honestly.
She is gonna have to. Learn
You've been
how
there
to use
before?
chopsticks.
Yeah. I went earlier this year.
How about that?
It was a good opportunity, you know, so we'll see what happens.
Why didn't you like it?
It's just the cultural barrier is crazy. All the places that were around closed in the middle of the day. So it's starving, and the only thing that was
Why do they
open-
close in the middle of the day?
I think they do like a siesta.
Oh, they do that in parts of Europe too. That used to drive
And
me
I'm like,
crazy.
I'm fucking starving.
Yeah.
And then also I went into the convenience stores and I couldn't read for shit. I didn't know what anything was. I'm like, oh, this monster looks familiar, you know? And then everything else is just in all Japanese. So I'm like, yo, you got protein bars? Because there's not a lot to eat except for sushi and regular stuff. But I'm a very impatient person.
Yeah.
And they're slow about
Really?
everything.
See, in
You go and
New York
eat at a
City, they're
restaurant?
rushing around all over the place.
I love New York.
So they
do
just
I.
close
I
in the
love
middle of the day.
They close in the middle of the day from like 2 to 6.
Yeah, there's places in
What's
Europe
the
that
deal
do that
with
too.
Eric? Do you know? You don't remember?
Well, I was in Osaka. I wasn't in Tokyo.
Okay.
So Yeah.
Okay.
So I wasn't in Tokyo. I was in Osaka.
So would you be in Osaka again?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you got to deal with that siesta again.
Yeah.
See,
I'm gonna bring.
siesta
I'm
sounds like-
gonna order pre-made meals or bring them with me. That way I can still stay like on my shit.
How long will you be there for?
A month.
Wow.
It's a lot of sushi.
Yeah, I love sushi. I love it though.
I don't love
Me
sushi.
too. I love sushi.
I could do it once in a while. I wouldn't be able to do it
I love
every day.
deep fried sushi. Hold on.
Yeah, that's a little
Tempura.
different.
I don't know. That's part of where like being single comes in handy too, because it's like I can kind of do what I want, go here, go there, see this, see that, and do it. And
I thought you were gonna say sushi's half price.
Well, no, it's not. It's actually more expensive. Yen.
If you're eating by yourself,
Yen
than
is-
for paying for two.
Oh hell yeah, way more. Well, I mean, I'm still expensive as fuck.
She's like, I'll be eating some rolls.
I would be eating a few rolls to myself. Yeah.
Well, the one thing that I want to end with, because I think this is very important. We've talked about your boobs numerous times on this episode. So your current implant size is how many cc's?
They're 1,400.
1,400 cc's, and we did have a brief conversation that you may go bigger.
Yep.
How big will you go?
I don't know. Sky's the limit.
Sky is the limit.
No, I don't want circus boobs. And everyone is trying to, dissuade me from getting them bigger. They're like, they're good. Leave them alone. But you know me. I'm an overachiever.
Do you have a range?
Maybe like 2,000, 2,500.
2,500 is a lot bigger than 2,000, though. So 2,000 is huge.
500 isn't that much.
Once you get up there, 2,500 is pretty big.
I'll say 2,000.
2,000 is very big.
The only thing I don't like about going bigger that I'm contemplating not is because when you go bigger, I'm a fan of like not that big, like proportionate size nipples. I like pretty things. I like pretty boobs. I like things to be a certain way. You know what I mean? It can't be off balance. I don't like it. So when you get your boobs bigger, it
Stretches the areola a
stretches
bit.
the areola, and then
Some more than others, though.
and they start looking like orangutan titties. And I
Yeah,
don't
but now
want
they do the
that.
nipple revisions, too.
But then you have a scar around.
I don't like the
nipple.
scar, personally. I'd much rather have a big First of all, I like big areolas anyway. I'm just weird with scars. I really am. I just don't like scars. So, like, that's why I don't like the typical, like, lift procedure. I don't like the keyhole scar.
I've seen
like
somebody who had, their nipple removed and then cut off and made smaller and put back on. It doesn't look bad, but personally, I wouldn't want it.
No, me neither. If I was ever going to blow my boobs up, I'd
Yeah,
leave
they
my
like
nipples
cut
alone.
it.
Why
They
the
cut it and then
fuck?
they put it because they're smaller.
Yeah.
Oh my fuck.
Yeah, I'm a big nipple person.
But
I
she
have a
doesn't
nipple
have any
thing. So to mess with the
sensation.
nipples is like,
She
yeah,
doesn't
you
have
don't have
any-
some sensation either after that.
No. So
What the fuck? What is a nipple revision?
it's
Is
where they
just
take
that.
Yeah.
take the whole nipple.
take the
off
nipple
and cut
off.
it.
Okay, well, I thought you guys were talking about different things, but that's just fucking
Super weird.
retarded.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that.
Leave it alone.
I wanted to get a good mental picture of like I'm imagining like the boob enhancement in my head.
Just
Right
get them fucking pierced and leave it alone.
She already has
Yeah.
hers pierced. Actually,
I'm saying, like,
if
That's
you're
why-
on her OnlyFans,
For other
like, I
women
am,
out
Shut
you
up,
know that.
PJ. No, that's the reason I
Jesus.
like that. That's the reason I like pierced boobs is because it keeps your nipples hard and it makes them appear to be smaller and they always look pretty.
It's aesthetically pleasing. Is what
I
she's
like
saying.
things that are aesthetically pleasing, don't we all?
You got that into fitness. You of course you're gonna like things that are aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
Speaking of aesthetically pleasing, I really like that watch.
Thank you.
Very nice. I like the red.
Thanks. Me too.
Nice. Well, little love fest compliments going around here right now.
I like your
like
shoes, Josh.
Thanks.
Bust them out. Let's see them.
That red. No, I
Just kidding.
I actually have already showed these shoes off.
Really?
When we did a podcast with a sneaker athlete.
Oh, that's right. Yes, Mike the Compass. How's he doing?
Good.
Good. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I have to pee very, very bad. So I don't want to. There's nothing more exciting. I know we talked about different moments of your life, but there's nothing more exciting than the boob part for me.
Well, obviously.
So I think that we should shut it down after that. Don't you think? Unless you want to, if you have anything that you want to plug or say or do, we can stay.
No, I'm good.
Okay,
I mean,
'cause-
I feel like I've.
I get nervous with boobs that big in front of me, so I've been chugging water the whole time.
It's just like a natural reaction. You sweat and you
Yeah.
chug water. Sweat and chug water.
I'm all like clammy and like antsy over here.
It's just got like a gravitational pull of their own.
Some guys just really love big boobs. I've been like this since I was a little kid. When I was in 5th grade, I got in trouble for bringing a bunch of Playboys to school and showing all the boys boobs. And they were like, your son is talking about boobs and has a backpack full of Playboys. And I had taken them for my grandpa.
Fucking
He was
legend.
pissed.
Yeah, that's my boy.
Other kids were like showing baseball cards. I was like, you think those are cool? Look at these.
These are the real athletes.
Boom. And I've just always been that way. I like big butts too, though. I do. I just really love big boobs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud to say that I've showed a ton of restraint during this episode, and I have not been caught on camera one time looking at her boobs.
I'm in the optimal seat
Yeah, I
for
know.
this show.
I know.
But that's all right. I've been looking at her boobs for a while anyway, a couple of years now. So she's over it.
It happens.
Yeah.
Well, I guess on that note, we will end this like we always do with a peace out bye.